What's up, everybody? My name is Jordan Carroll, aka The Remote Job Coach, and I'm here with another video. And today I want to talk about a remote work term that is becoming much more mainstream and discuss why it's the most important thing for you to acquire as a skilled remote worker. Let's talk about asynchronous communication. So first, what is asynchronous communication? And in simple terms, it's sending a message without the immediate expectation for a response. Some examples of that might be an email or a text message or a Slack message, but these are modes of communication where the latency in which you receive a response could be a number of minutes or hours or days. And to help put this in perspective, synchronous communication, on the other hand, is communication with an immediate expectation of response. So an in-person meeting, for instance, or if you're on the phone live with somebody. Now, what does this have to do with remote work? Well, the best and most successful fully remote companies in the world have this in common. They put a huge focus on intentional asynchronous work because especially in remote teams that are distributed throughout the world, it's impossible to have all team members online simultaneously. So it's critical to success to do this. And as more companies have transitioned to fully remote work or partially remote work, they're looking at fully distributed companies like Doist or GitLab or Buffer or Remote, and they're looking at them for guidance on how to deploy this type of work style. Employees love it too because it's a style of work that shows trust. It encourages work-life balance. It gives people more freedom to design their day. As long as they're getting their work done, everything's cool. Now, the key here is having a culture that actually promotes asynchronous work and the processes in place to ensure that employees understand what's expected of them. So we talked a little bit about this, but why is asynchronous communication in remote work so important? Well, one of the huge pushes for remote work is the elimination of this stupid water cooler talk, the person coming to your desk to bullshit, the range of other frustrating interruptions that lead to unproductive days. And as the world has gone more remote, the need for company-wide skill of asynchronous communication has skyrocketed. And here's why, based on an article I came across from my friends at Doist, and I'll post the article in the description of the video. Number one, employees are happier with the control over their workday. Number two, people learn to communicate in a higher quality fashion with less back and forth. Number three, deep work becomes the default. Number four, automatic documentation creates greater transparency. Because most of the communication is in writing, you can use those conversations for reference later or use them to create processes. And number five, with time zone equality, no one is at an informational disadvantage because of the time zone that they're in, right? You don't need everyone available for a stupid conference call or a Zoom meeting to do something that could have been done over an email. So now that we agree it's important, how do you start working asynchronously? And I'm going to reference an article by GitLab where there's an amazing question that they ask at the beginning. How would I deliver this message, present this work, or move this project forward right now if no one on my team were awake, right? So asynchronous work is a simple concept. It's do as much as you can with what you have, document everything, and transfer the ownership of the project to the next person, and then start working on something else. Buffer has a few best practices that I wanted to also highlight that I find extremely helpful. Number one, clear processes and clear intentions. Number two, most things aren't urgent. Know the difference between urgency. Number three, invest in your writing and reread everything you're going to send before you send it. Number four, communicate everything someone needs up front. Now, the key is to take out this gut reaction to always schedule meetings and instead buckle down, take on the work, and deliver something to people that's actually of high quality that can push the ball forward. At its core, asynchronous communication is good documentation. It doesn't require the recipient to be available, and as GitLab eloquently states in their documentation, there needs to be a standardized method of this asynchronous communication. If you don't do that, you're leaving it to the actual team members to determine their own methods, which creates an absolute shit show. GitLab and my friend Darren Murph over there has the most comprehensive asynchronous documentation that I've ever found, and the resources to help you as a company if you need those. So make sure to check those out. And in conclusion, I believe asynchronous is the future of work, and those that master the skill of communicating in this way will be hand and foot over everyone else. That being said, synchronous communication, synchronous work styles are not going away. They are being supplemented by asynchronous work. There's still going to be that need for a human element and for certain types of brainstorming and message delivery that's done over phone calls or Zoom calls or whatever it might be. What we're going to see over the next few years, there are going to be more and more meetings taken off calendars, more and more asynchronous styles being implemented, especially with globalization, the rise of the remote workforce, and in companies intentionally creating remote culture, which really wasn't done as much before. So all those things are going to culminate in a new reality, a new work style for pretty much all industries, and especially tech and ones that are really going to be focused on having people in different places. So as a job seeker, it really makes sense if you're looking to find remote work to take a look at some of the things I've said today and understand the components of asynchronous communication, to understand the tools that companies use for asynchronous communication, to understand how you can be a better writer, how you can transmit your messages more effectively. So practice that in your daily life with friends, as you text, as you email, at your current workplace, whatever it might be, and try to become a better communicator, in a sense where you're giving people all the information that they need to get what they need done and move forward. So thanks so much for watching today's video, and until next time, keep wondering you're not lost.